It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And this week, we get a good look at Marvel's Doctor Doom. Pretty good look.
Out of nowhere, in my favorite way possible. We'll talk about it more, but I love it when stuff kind of like leaks / doesn't leak, because it's like an official reveal.
It is.
From very official sources, but it seems like people weren't thinking this one through.
Well, and we'll talk about the location where like it's in somewhere people probably wouldn't expect to see it right now. But it's fun. We'll talk about it. We got quite a few links related to photos, videos, so on and so forth. Grogu, remember him? Metal Green guy?
Yeah.
His legacy may impact a lot of Star Wars. The future Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Also from that same event, we didn't expect to get Doctor Doom from, so we're gonna see what that means. The Witcher continues to go downhill. I don't come out swinging like this, Mike, but I just watched the season 4 clip, and boy, do I have not good feelings about this.
Yeah, this one's fresh. I just scrolled past this like less than 12 hours ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Or actually, it would have been yesterday. So if I'm being pedantic, maybe like 18 hours ago.
Within a day, less than
Yeah.
a day. How about that? There was a bunch of Netflix stuff that was like pushing this week, and I don't know what Netflix is doing, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But I want to talk about why the Witcher is not good and more this week.
Chris, all I want to talk about right now is the Cars franchise.
There you go.
You want to
talk about cheesy bread that I ate this weekend. That'll take you back about 20 years. But continue.
I'm talking about Pixar's Cars. All I know about Cars franchise, well, I know a lot about it. I've seen all 3 movies now, but I know from a parenting point of view, at some point in my child's life, she will fall in love with Lightning McQueen. So we put that to the test over the last week or two. Not quite there yet. She's just not as engaged in television as her parents, and that should probably be a blessing, right? I think all parents are always worried about screens, and we're just desperately trying to get ours to watch what we like to watch, become one of us. But we put Lightning McQueen up on the TV, and we exactly, and we rewatched the first Cars movie because it's the only one that me and my wife had ever seen before, and I don't care what people have to say about this movie. I love the first Cars movie.
Okay, no one is knocking.
Great.
Well, I'm just going. No one's knocking the first Cars movie.
People are absolutely knocking the first Cars movie. Cars suffers from the same thing that the first Frozen movie suffers from, where the first Frozen movie is a legitimately good movie, but kids glommed onto these 2 franchises so strongly that people just ragging on them for that's just a kiddie thing.
I highly disagree. I think a lot of people like Cars. Cars 2 and 3, I will fight you and say they suck and are not as good as the first one. But continue along your journey here.
But Cars is just an absolute delight. It's maybe the newest, youngest, freshest form of nostalgia maybe in my DNA, where every time I watch it, I just go, man, they make me feel like Radiator Springs is this real place.
It's a good park. It's a good part of the park in Disneyland. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love the wacky, weird Cars universe that they're inventing. It just doesn't make any sense, but they just blow right past it, and they just don't care to explain why these cars are anthropomorphized. Where are the humans? It doesn't matter. My wife and I both, after the movie was over, looked over at each other. I was like, did you start kind of why are we getting so emotional over this movie? But we just love it. And like you mentioned, the park, once we finished watching it, we're just I can't wait to get back to Radiator Springs at Disney California Adventure, because it feels so real. It's so picturesque. It looks beautiful at night. We just love everything about this first Pixar movie. And Chris, we were absolutely prepared when we put on the second movie.
Good.
We've heard about the second movie for however long it's been around. We knew we were going. to a crazy ride, and it was absolutely insane. It's
Yeah.
it's obviously not a good movie,
Yeah.
at all. But so I was surprised that Cars 2 actually has a lot in common with the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's the same type of principle where you're taking these like very unique and fantastical worlds, and they just cannot stand up to the scrutiny of like developing them and expanding them because the world is not strong. It's brittle. It breaks. Like you keep wondering, like, oh well, why didn't the wizards stop all of these world wars? A lot of people died. I don't understand.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. Cars 2 is essentially James Bond, but like
With Mater.
yes, like a redneck James Bond. Like they like we need to put him in here. And
it's so weird. My wife was searching on IMDb and found some hilarious facts because we were just like, are we watching a lot of cars die on screen in front of us? And she said there are 17 on-screen deaths and 2 additional ones off screen. The cars in this movie have guns, which is insane because we do not need to introduce this fact that cars created weaponry. It's literally not needed for the plot. You could just remove the guns and have like the cars like ramming into each other, make it way like less violent. But as soon as you give a car a gun, you have 1,000 more questions, right? Of just like who's making the bullets, like why was there a world war? Like now, like the old like Sarge that's in Radiator Springs, now you actually start to think about, oh, was he actually in a conflict? Yeah. Like when you shoot a car, is motor oil the same as blood? Like it's absolutely insane.
This is not to poke fun, but I did see someone say that in this one they had to go through the TSA, so there was a Cars 9/11 that had to have happened for them to have the TSA at the airport in Cars 2.
Yeah.
So it is wild. Like I get what they're doing. They're just saying, hey, you recognize these things in real life. We're trying to assign them to a movie, but I'm like,
yeah.
There's a lot.
And it made me think of. It made me appreciate the brilliance of the first movie because there's really only 2 locations in the first movie, which lets your imagination run wild. You're basically either at a racetrack or you're in Radiator Springs or you're on a freeway in between the 2. Mm-hmm. So it really lets you like imagine what's going out there in the world, but they don't have to explain it. So eventually we got to 3. We actually just watched 3 this morning, and it's fine. Like the magic has unfortunately dissipated by the time you get to the 3rd one. It's a little bit better because they're like back to racing or whatever, but like I just don't care. A lot of the new voice actors or just actors in general that they brought in to try to reinvigorate the franchise, like Armie Hammer, like doesn't age well. Nobody cares about him.
Nobody does that. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask, well, go ahead. I have a question because are you going to now dive into the spinoff of Cars, Planes?
Well, I've honestly, I thought about that because isn't Planes like a spinoff, but not from Pixar? It's like just from some other like studio that just got the license. I think that's how it worked.
It's from Disney still. It's just Disney. It's not Pixar. It's Disney, but the story is still by John Lasseter, who is known for doing the Cars movies.
Yeah, he's known for doing some other things too, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's Disney Toon Studios is what it's called now, if you're familiar with them. But it's under Walt Disney Pictures.
Sounds familiar.
So there's Planes, and there's also Planes, Fire and Rescue. So they do have 2 other whole movies, starring Dane Cook, which is definitely tells you what era these were made in, because when's the last time you heard Dane Cook brought up in a conversation?
I mean, honestly, I think if you're somebody that loves film or storytelling, whether it's animation or not, like comparing the first Cars and the second Cars is a masterclass. I mean, obviously the story's a mess, but even like visually, we were both on the couch like, why does the second Cars movie just look so cheap? Like it's like a Disney Plus short or something. Like the camera is way closer in. They don't really care to show you a lot of like the vistas. The color grading is very odd. Like Radiator Springs, like that doesn't feel majestic at all anymore. So I don't know. I just wanted to spread the love of the first Cars movie to our audience, and they should go rewatch it.
Again, I on the other side, a non-family house, I don't hear anyone talk bad about Cars. I think a lot of people do like the first Cars movie, but to that point, it is, in terms of storytelling, it is telling that story of like someone who got knocked down a peg and he has to learn how to bring himself back up by finding like the small people in the small towns, right? Like, oh, I'm inspired by these people who've taught me to be better. But when you went to Cars 2 and ultimately Cars 3 feels like Cars 1 again, Cars 2 literally is just parody of spy movies. Like it like the first one is actually, like you mentioned, a true story about character, like, going through the hero arc, if you will. But the second one is just essentially a parody of spy movies again, is how it feels. And I couldn't pick out hardly anything on that second movie. Michael Caine was in it. Like, we have Michael Caine in the show notes today, by the way. So this is some good stuff here. But like, we have a TV channel, one of those, what we will call fast channels in my house, Mike, you know about these. And one of them is pure Pixar films in release order. And so I do see a lot more Cars movies than I'd like to admit, but I never pay attention when it's not the first one, by any means. So are you also going to get the Cars CRT television now that you have watched these movies? Does it make feel...
There's one in my area, Chris, for $150, and I kind of want to pull the trigger, but I think it's missing like a front part, like
the flap
compartment or something. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
right.
I want one of those novelty TVs, man.
Yeah, Cars is like the perfect one of those because they're just, it's a big car. All right, let's jump into some news. Oh, actually, before we get, I went to Lafayette this weekend, Mike. You've spent some time in Lafayette, Indiana. I spent time in Lafayette, Indiana, and I got to visit some of my friends who live there. We had a good time just hanging out, playing not party games, but like there was a beer pong and cornhole and just having a good time up there. And if any of them are listening, thank you for inviting us. We had a good time. It's always a pleasure to be back in, I guess our alma mater, but boy, does that place look different after 13 years of not being there. It is literally unrecognizable.
We just keep getting older, and it just keeps getting fancier over there. Yeah. More buildings.
Yeah, less. They took out all the when the yacht club went out of the Chauncey, Mike. It was just downhill from there, and never been the same since. All right, moving in. Let's talk about Jurassic World. Have you had a chance to watch Jurassic World? I don't remember. Rebirth?
I have.
Okay,
I'm prepared.
I haven't, but it's fine. But the rumor is Rebirth will be getting a sequel with Scarlett Johansson returning as her character Zora Bennett, and I'm not surprised because this movie grossed $861 million worldwide this summer, despite opening against both Superman and Fantastic Four in July.
This is what happens when you're. Go ahead. Well, this is what happens when you're only franchise that's doing dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. Like, just let anybody else make a movie about dinosaurs, and I think we might get some competition and better movies.
I also think it's one. Well, I don't. Yeah, it might be. I don't think we're gonna get a better movie. This has become. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Transformers, where they're just gonna keep making money, and people are just gonna be seeing them until somebody runs out of steam. But they keep. The thing with this isn't like one director's vision. They keep bringing different people in for these. So I feel we're going to be having this for a couple more, at least 3 more. World, Rebirth and its 2 sequels, whatever they come up with. Now, will we get, the same team characters back? I don't know. But my guess is we'll probably see Jurassic World Rebirth with Mahershala Ali returning before we get him as Blade at this point. So we can at least look forward to that. But movies that do make a lot of money get sequels. Movies that don't make a lot of money are also getting sequels. And we're going to talk about The Last Witch Hunter. The Vin Diesel movie from 2015 is getting a sequel. Yeah. And this movie...
The Last Witch Hunter. I'm Googling it.
Yeah.
This doesn't even look real. This looks like you asked AI to invent a movie.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It is.
I don't even remember
this movie had Michael Caine in it, and he, at 92 years of age, is coming out of retirement to be in this movie.
What? Is this like one of the insane Vin Diesel projects where he like bought the rights back because he wants to give the fans what they want?
No, this is Lionsgate. This is not a Vin Diesel project. It's essentially a low-grossing film, but according to Deadline, Lionsgate's new strategy to grow IP with staying power and sci-fi fantasy spectacle elements that can overperform in the ancillary markets to create long-term library value. Meaning, this movie has been top 5 on Netflix for the past couple months. Like
What?
what was it? What we talked about, was it like it's movies that people watch in the background. What do we've talked about it a couple times, right? Like they're
Yeah,
not, like,
just like
primary-
background noise.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like this is essentially a background noise movie with a big actor attached to it. And I was like, I read this over and over. I'm like, this is from Deadline. This is official stuff. Lionsgate, they make some good stuff. They make some real bad stuff. This movie has 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, Mike, the first one. I put it in our show notes here. It grossed $147 million on approximately $80 million budget. So less than doubled it. So I don't know what marketing cost. My guess is it was a wash. They probably tried to sweep it under the rug as a loss. But like it's literally about Vin Diesel in the old times hunting witches, getting immortality, and hunting witches in the modern times. And now we get a new one. So
I mean, I do love a good strategic Moneyball situation in Hollywood. So if they're like looking at the numbers, like you would, you go, okay, this movie's doing really, really well on Netflix. If we can crank out a sequel for like $60 million, probably half of that is going to be Vin Diesel's like minimum. We can probably get some return on our investment here. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out for him.
I have no idea. Like I don't know. The one thing we don't know is how much what are the deals on streaming services, right? Is it like a one-time package? Do they pay per stream? Or like is it a package, and if it gets over X amount of streams, they pay more? Like, what does that look like? And like, why are like these movies getting this kind of like, why are these? I would call this low budget, I guess, maybe in modern times, right? Under 90 million. I say closer to probably 80 million. Low budget film getting this stuff. I like that. I like low budget. It doesn't have to be good. They're not all going to be winners, right, Mike? We know this. But we don't need $1 billion movies. Just the only thing in the theaters, because no one will go to it. So maybe this will come out in theaters for a little bit and go to streaming. The movie have we talked about Red Sonja on here before?
Briefly.
So it hit streaming recently as well, and I think might be doing well. It came out in Russia in July, America in August. So yeah, it's about a month now. So but yeah, I don't know. This is wild. I've not watched this movie. This kind of makes me want to go watch it to see what it was. Like, what is this movie, and why is Elijah Wood in it? So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, you can check out The Last Witch Hunter. Do you know where it's streaming right now? Actually, do we have Just Watch? Do we have it pulled up? I'm gonna actually look it up.
I don't. No idea.
You were doing Google. You were doing the Google for us, Mike. I thought you.
I was in Google. I was in Google Images. I was trying to get an idea of what this freaking thing looked like.
Well, the one thing is like the poster has like 2 Vin Diesels, and I was like, is it him and his brother? No. So you can stream it for free. Oh, on Plex, regular Plex has it.
Wow.
Peacock, if you have a subscription, has it right now as well. Or you can buy it for less than $5 at PVOD stores. Moving on, in the realm of Last Witch Hunters and Witchers, we have our first season 4 clip, at least the first clip I've seen of season 4, The Witcher, where Liam Hemsworth has taken over the lead role from Henry Cavill, and he's fighting what appears to be a wraith that he summons out of a crypt or something. And fuck, Mike, this is awful looking. I hate to be so blunt, but like, number one, it sucks for Liam Hemsworth that his brother is Thor and already looks like this in all his other movies. So it feels like we're getting great value Thor here in this to begin with. Going from Henry Cavill, Liam Hemsworth also feels like a downgrade in terms of star power and like celebrity. And also there's some shots in here where it's just stand-ins. And the actor is not even there. Like, you can see the back of a head. It looks like maybe a Muppet with the hair of whatever Geralt's hair is over that for a second. I don't know if you've got that pulled up or not. I had to go back and actually watch it because it's 55 seconds in, Mike. It's an imposed shot of someone's head over looking at this wraith.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the right hair color, because in the next shot his hair's white. So
yeah, it's so the situation is so funny to me because there seems to be a lot of hate from the fan base, but none of it is directed towards Henry Cavill. I think he left on his own accord, right? He just didn't want to do it anymore, or they weren't going to pay him enough, or he wanted more creative control. I don't remember what it was, but
creative differences, because he wanted to be faithful to the books, is what it says when I pull it up.
But I mean, ultimately, like, you know, he parted ways. Honestly, Netflix, unless they're under some sort of like expensive contract, they probably should have just ended it with Cavill. You know, I feel like replacing the character does nobody any favors. Mm-hmm. They honestly probably could have maybe pivoted the story to just tell a story of a different Witcher, maybe, and then they could have like kind of appeased a little bit of everybody. The best thing they could have done is just locked down an actor, you know, before earlier. Like, you know, Henry Cavill gave it juice for sure, but if it would have started with Liam Hemsworth, you know, from the very beginning, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. When did this show come out? 2019. Okay, so we're on 6 years of it. So they probably started filming around 2018 or so.
We love the first season, but we fell off during the second season because it's just one of those things in the streaming age now where there's so much time in between the first season and second season that by the time it comes back out, like, you've kind of lost all of your enthusiasm for so much has happened in your own personal life between seasons of television now that you don't have the energy to go back and reinvest yourself in a world anymore.
Yeah, and this is, you know, when Netflix was trying things and they weren't, like, again, like you said, they weren't committing, right? So we get a bunch of green lights and things, and we're like, well, if we watch this, they're probably going to cancel something we enjoy. That's when Netflix was doing that stuff. So I'm surprised they are continuing it. I am looking it up here. Season 1 was 2019, 2 was 2021, exactly 2 years later. The next one was a year and a half in 2023. And this is over 2 years later by the time this one drops in October of 2025. So if you're fans of The Witcher, maybe we just get a movie next time.
I mean, I get it. You know, we go much longer distances in between films, and films are much shorter. So you would think if you're kind of like just doing the math, like, oh, well, there's so many more hours of television, you can go longer in between. And it's just like, unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. You kind of have to almost go sooner. I don't know why it's.
Well, it's there's so much going on. We talk about this, you know, scheduled television, right? Like, we didn't talk about it at the top of the show, but we're watching the Great British Baking Show right now. Mm-hmm. It's the same time every year. It's fall of every year, and we can count on that every year to be that way, which is great because then, like, oh, we're kind of getting into where it's cooling down here. Again, it's going to end around October, I think is what it is. 6 to 8 weeks, or no, 8 to 10 weeks. So maybe October, November. But we always count on that every year. And like, people growing up, television has been kind of designed. We've all been ingrained to understand television as a yearly cycle, right? Like seasons on streaming now, not streaming on your regular shows, but now we're getting into the streaming area, and they're like, oh, we'll just put it up whenever people will watch it. It's not really true. You know, and obviously Netflix, by getting rid of Henry Cavill or parting ways and just continuing to have really, I would say, slam the budget down quite a bit on this show. Like, just this is not the clip I'd show to get people hyped for The Witcher. Is that, like, this just feels like a fanfic. Like, is this like it feels like a fan movie, right? Like, in terms of like quality and
maybe a lot's going on behind the scenes of this one. They're like, we're going to see how the audience reacts to this. And if they don't like it, don't spend any more money promoting this series.
So season 5, so they did commit through season 5, and season 5 is almost done filming. It'll be done like this month. So, you know, had they done this beforehand and got it out within a year, probably something else. But I think The Witcher, I've never played the games. I've always had my eye on it. We did watch the first season, but what I would like to see, Mike, is I would like to see someone really put some money behind this, like a good movie kind of thing. this feels like maybe Amazon's wheelhouse for the next iteration. You know how much money they're putting behind the Lord of the Rings stuff. It could be something really good in there, but Netflix kind of really dropped the ball on this one, and I highly recommend people watch this because I just can't even figure out where the Henry Cavill leaving is where everything went wrong. Everyone else is still the same, but you can check that out in our show notes. But on the flip side, I want to talk about something Netflix did right, and that was the Knives Out trilogy, Mike, from Rian Johnson. And they have released a new trailer for the upcoming third movie, Wake Up Dead Man, coming out to Netflix December 12th, and select theaters November 26th if you're lucky to live somewhere they're showing it. And I'm excited for this. I like the Knives Out movies, Mike. I forget the main character's name. I had it in my head. But these are fun films. This is like a Netflix, a creator-driven kind of film where they like, yeah, we're going to pay you to do your stuff, and we're going to get, obviously, subscribers from watching this, right? Along the way.
Yeah, I mean, the franchise as it is now kind of single-handedly revived the whodunit genre. There's been like, I think since the first Knives Out movie dropped, there's been like at least like 1,000 whodunit original series and movies that have already churned through streaming services at this point. So isn't it like Blanc or
Benoit Blanc? Yeah, I clicked on the YouTube link. I'm like, oh, it tells me right there. Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig. In these films. Yeah, and it's just fun. I haven't seen this trailer yet myself, but like I already know I'm gonna like watch this, and they know that this is a popular film franchise because it's coming out right around the holidays. They want families to watch it together, or at least get together and then talk about the mystery that they watched unravel. So I'll be here for it. I don't know if I'll watch it the weekend that it drops, but I'll get around to it. Yeah, I might in December. This might be one I sit down. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this one because like it's got Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner is in this, but he's not playing Jeremy Renner despite having a reference to Jeremy Renner's hot sauce in the last movie, Glass Onion. It's got a huge cast. It looks really fun. I'm excited for this. So like this just kind of is like one of those things where Netflix is cheaping out over here, but boy, they got a winner over here. For that. And I want to talk about the third thing from Netflix that has really kind of got me not feeling good. Mike, you've never watched My Hero Academia. Is that correct?
No, I have.
Okay.
I've seen the first couple seasons dubbed.
Okay, cool. Same here. I think in the first three. Netflix has hired Jason Fuchs, who wrote Argylle and Wonder Woman, to write the live-action adaptation of My Hero Academia for them. Yeah, he had a bunch of other things on there that I didn't want to put on there, but like Argylle obviously was like a Netflix thing, and
it was an Apple Plus thing.
Oh, was it? Oh, it was one, wasn't it? He's also an actor. Let's see, he's the writer of Ice Age Continental Drift from 2012. When you get to your Ice Age phase with your child, let me know. I'll be interested to hear how that goes. He also was one on Pan, that Hugh Jackman as Hook, Peter Pan movie. Nothing really making me feel confident here. Wonder Woman, not the best movie in the world either. I mean, it's fine, serviceable, but I watched some of it the other day and I'm like, it's okay. Is this going to be a show or a movie? Which one? It needs to be a show, right? Like, because of the success of One Piece.
Yeah, this feels like a One Piece strategical maneuver here. We made it work with One Piece. We might as well just keep trying with other properties.
No, it's a movie. It's a movie. Sorry. Yeah, I was right. Or I was incorrect. Yeah, I thought it'd be a show, but it is in fact a movie coming to Netflix.
I mean, strategically, maybe that's the best way to make the visual effects work out. All of these characters have, very visual superpowers, very grand scale fights that they like to do in the show.
Quirks, if you will, please. We need a
sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, they're very visually distinct, and they're all like identified by like their one superpower, right? Like everyone has like one power, and that's how they're defined. It's great. It's great. I think it'd be great, but like this manga / anime, it is wrapped up in Japan. The final season is coming to America soon. I think the end of this year. So like, what is it, like one movie per like story arc, one movie per season? Like, how do you movieify this? It's giving me, and I hate to say it, The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan vibes, right? Trying to do the whole thing in one movie, and I'm like, you can't do everything in one movie. How are we gonna?
Well,
do
I
this?
do. I mean, I do know My Hero, similar to just like in the Dragon Ball universe, they do one-off movies. So, I mean, they can obviously tell a story in like, 90 plus minutes, but I don't know. Luckily, I'm not too precious on this.
No.
This is kind of like the current generation's version of Dragon Ball. So, whether it sinks or swim makes no difference to me,
Probably.
but there's definitely a fan base out there.
I disagree. I think everything should be swimming all around. No one should be making bad content. I disagree that we may not be precious on the property, but Netflix shouldn't be making something to just make something. At the end of the day, it should be good. But we'll keep you guys posted if we hear anything else. Moving on into The Mandalorian and Grogu. So Walt Disney Studios Marketing Expo is in Shanghai this past week. That is where we're going to talk about our Avengers stuff, some Spider-Man stuff. But there was a synopsis released for The Mandalorian and Grogu at this. Just coming out May of next year. I'm really surprised we haven't got a trailer. The was it the Comic-Con trailer or something from last year, or the Star Wars Celebration trailer we haven't got yet, like officially?
Well, we have a Tron and Avatar still to come out, so it'll probably be paired one of those.
Yeah, probably Tron, just to give some boost to that movie. I'm gonna go see it, but I'm not certain everybody else is. But here's the synopsis real fast. So, and I quote, "As the forces err in the galaxy and the Mandalorian's most adorable partner, Grogu has taken the world by storm with his mischievous and endearing charm since his debut." It reads, "Grogu-themed merchandise spanning all channels, categories, and age groups will soon be available. The Grogu storm is about to hit." So, obviously, this is a marketing expo. This is for merchandising, stuff like that. But the force, I don't know, since it's in Shanghai, was this in English? Was it a translating error calling Grogu the Force's heir? Like, is he going to have some sort of mythical place in this upcoming movie?
It makes me wonder. So we've been watching. Have you seen the most recent episode of Alien Earth, Chris?
Not the one not this week's. Yet.
Okay. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. We have the conversation every week on the couch of, have they ever shown us like a toddler xenomorph? Like, we always see it, bursting out of the chest, right? And then we see it as a full-grown adult because, in this universe of Alien, it evolves or sheds or grows so fast. Like, it's like within like an afternoon, the thing is like fully grown. So you never really get.
Prometheus has with the snakes.
It shows it as like a toddler.
Yeah,
like I'm thinking like Doberman size, or like dog size.
Yeah, because like they so in Prometheus, she has that emergency C-section that rips the xenomorph out of her rather than it bursting through her chest, and it shows it as like a smaller, like
now that you're describing it, I feel, but that technically is not a xenomorph, right? Isn't it kind of like one of those weird like white aliens?
No, that's Romulus. You're thinking Romulus.
Actually, I think I'm also thinking of Covenant. I feel like in Covenant, maybe we see a smaller. Anyway,
yeah, there are, but like you don't. Yeah, they're not the highlight of this, right? They're not the highlight of the show.
It makes me think like, what is the next kind of like age for Grogu? Right, you see him as cute, little, adorable, like toddler going around like murdering frogs as he devours them alive. Stealing cookies with the Force. And then we see old Super Yoda, and then the Yaddle, was that her name? Also on the Jedi Council?
Yes, it was.
What I'm like, are we ever going to get to see what's in the middle? I would love. This would be a great, actually, an amazing time if Mando could come across like some sort of like ancient data log or something that says like, what are these creatures? Canonically, what is Yoda and Grogu? Where do they live? And then they go to like a little village in a far off planet, and we get to see all of these green people. I think that would be some nice payoff.
Well, that would be the movie. Yeah, that's more than a show. That's a movie thing. I was trying to think here, like Yoda, like I was trying to think if we like in the most recent Star Wars stuff, the what's it called, the part where it's like 100 years before Star Wars, right? Recently, if they like, what's the youngest we've ever seen Yoda? Because we know Grogu was around 50. They said he's around 50 years age. Yoda was like 800, 900 when he died. So I think we would have seen around 700 to 800 ish, give or take. So how many more years? Like, how much of a time jump do we need to bring him up to that, right? Because he's not gonna grow overnight. So we might meet the other ones, but I don't think it's gonna be Grogu, right?
Good point.
Sadly, unless they want to put him in like one of those next movies. But you're right. It would be interesting to get it. And I feel Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau would be the people to be like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We don't care what anybody else says. We're pulling the trigger on the green people things, because this last thing here, the Grogu storm is about to hit. Well, the name for Grogu, if you asked your mom what his name, what would she call it, Mike? Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda.
Right. Mm-hmm. So if we get an entire plethora of toys and merchandise that looks like Grogu, but they're all the same species, no one's going to know the difference. So I can imagine you being correct in them showing that and giving us different sizes and variations on these creatures, whatever they may be, right at the end of the day, for that. So we'll keep an eye out. I'm excited for a trailer for this. We've seen the leak trailer from the Star Wars stuff. I want to see the real one, the final one, and kind of get into more of the story here, because this is our next. I'm not going to say this is going to save Star Wars, but we need a good Star Wars movie to go see, and it'd be nice to wrap up the Mandalorian after 6 years of having him out there. Also, at the Walt Disney Studios Marketing Expo, they brought some promo materials, including Spider-Man and Dr. Doom. So I've got some links in here that you can check out in our show notes. First and foremost, it's the Greater China Consumer Product Showcase 2026 is what they're calling it. And here we get to see Mandalorian and Grogu, Zootopia 2, Mike's favorite. He's excited for this. I can hear it over there, the energy in him. Mickey and Friends, which looks to be like the next iteration of Mickey Mouse properties. Spider-Man, Toy Story 5, and Avengers. But the Avengers only shows Dr. Doom. There's no Avenger here. There's no Captain America. There's no, Thor or Iron Man. It is Dr. Doom here, with official art and highly detailed art too. Like, this doesn't feel like it might be concept art, but this feels pretty official. Like we might see later down the way.
This is all about Doom, and I just have to know, like, was this supposed to be the official reveal of Doom? I mean, this is a really nice piece of concept art, like fully fleshed out, like you said. Like, this is like lifelike, high detailed rendering. This isn't like opening up like an Art of Marvel book and finding something sketchy and like clipping it out and turning it into like a cardboard standee. This is like official like piece of artwork. But is this how we were supposed to find out the world? Because there's no real like official high quality like photo of it. It's just people that were at the convention sharing it online. It feels like some wires got crossed, but how do you not know that this is happening? Like, this is an expo. This is in people's calendars, for months, if not like the whole year. People had to make this art and print it. It's just so weird that this is the first official taste of Doom.
I don't think I think it's official, but I don't think it's final. I think this is one of those situations where you go to an event. We gotta push Marvel. It's one of our core pillars. We know Doomsday is our next movie. We know we're gonna have product and marketing opportunities for Doomsday. So get something that's pretty close to Doom. Maybe not the final thing that'll be on screen, but bring something, because Marvel is also known to bait and switches, right? Like they could easily update this Doctor Doom thing. It's like, well, that wasn't official. That was just what we were saying that there is Doctor Doom coming and this is a representation of him. So I don't know if I'm going to go so far as to agree with you and say this is the first official like look that they want everyone to see. But the next photo in there, I don't know if you've clicked on that second one yet, where it actually shows the full body. I actually hadn't seen the legs yet. Like that was when I was like, oh, like they may just have, you know, torso up and up, because it could be like art from a card or comic book, like, you know, if someone was doing a comic book. So I'm interested to see this here. And then you sent me a still from a drone show that they're doing there as well. It's not really a drone show. It's a light show. I said drone show. I apologize. I think I even wrote that down, didn't I? No, it's a light show, not a drone show. I'm going to fix it right now before I forget. So it's a light show, and it's like essentially the biggest buzzkill I've ever seen in a light show, Mike. I'm going to be just transparent, because this thing is such a slow burn for what they're showing here. And I don't have the context. Are they just showing this while people walk by? I assume no one's just like, hey, everyone stop and stare at this for a few minutes, because it doesn't feel like something that's going to draw a lot of attention or a loop. But it is
feels
very
more like
Doom focused, like you said. Like everything here is Doom comic book story, stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like the light show feels more decorative in a sense. Like, if I don't know exactly what technology is being used here, but this just looks like projectors on like a clear kind of canvas, if you will. You know, like if you turned all the lights on in this room and walked up to it, you would kind of see this like very translucent, probably like white, you know, mesh or something. But in a dark room, it kind of just looks like you have like floating holograms above you. Like, and it's this mixture of like, are we looking at fully original art here? You know, is this just concept art that's been brought to life? There's a moment where there looks like there's some machinery or like rings or some sort of like device in motion. So like, but that seemed like ultra specific, and I haven't seen anybody, you know, pull it out and compare it to anything in the comic books quite yet. So like, I feel like maybe we're getting like a sneak peek of maybe some of the technological advancements that this Doom is going to bring to Doomsday.
Some people have theorized that this is the 10 rings. Like this is how the 10 rings fit into this somehow, because like we've not touched on Shang-Chi, and he was supposed, like they teased that in Miss Marvel, and it's supposed to be a Kang thing, so they may have adapted the 10 rings into something else. But right, he is like doing some sort of magic thing. He's on the throne. We get the Avengers logo, Black Panther, Fantastic Four logo, and like a plus logo. I don't know who that plus logo is there at the end, like 315 or so. But you sent me a picture of essentially what looked like the frame from the comic books where Doom is ripping out Thanos' skeleton. And I literally, it literally blips. It's so fast how it happens. If this is actually from that comic book panel. So to me, it is maybe inspiration. This is the mood board they're going with for Avengers Doomsday, not necessarily the final effect, because like that they're not. I really hope, Mike, for the love of God, they don't bring Thanos into this and Doom kills him in one shot just to show how much more powerful Doom is than Thanos, because they've already done that in What If. They've already that's like the cheapest way to do it. But anyway, this feels like a mood board for Doctor Doom, right? Like the green and the electronic and he's got powers and or some kind of thing here. But I'll be honest, they've really avoided using Robert Downey Jr.'s face. Like, honestly, I'm actually surprised at how little we've seen of that.
Well, probably because every time you show his face, he probably gets paid. If you show him in the mask, you know, you don't have to pay him.
Right. Well, exactly. And I think that this was maybe even concept art before Robert Downey Jr. was even hired to do it. I know it's been like a year since it's been announced, but like, you know, we can put anybody in a mask.
Yeah. So that plus logo you're talking about, I'm pretty sure that's X-Men.
Oh, it's an X. Okay, it looks like a plus.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Because if you look at his actual, if I'm gonna go back to the promo materials of Doctor Doom, I don't have the high res one here that you sent over, but like on his shoulder pad, that little thing holding his cape on is a plus sign, which is why I kind of thought it was a plus. So I was like, oh, maybe it is. On top of all this other stuff, the Russo brothers earlier this week shared a very up close, pixelated, grainy screenshot of something. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is obviously the chalkboard in Fantastic Four from reading, but the light doesn't line up with it for me. Like, I don't, Yeah, it looks like I agree. It looks like a chalkboard, but it doesn't also look like a chalkboard.
This just looks like, honestly, it looks like a zoomed in version of something like Doom concept art. Like all of these like white markings. Like I don't think it's chalk. I think it's just like reflective lighting on like armor. That's
Yeah.
what it kind of looks like to me.
Yeah, like
but
metallic.
they just,
Yeah.
and since this is from 5 days ago, they probably shared the picture thinking, "Oh, nobody's going to know that this is concept art." And then all of a sudden, uh, you know, Shanghai happens, and like, oh, everyone knows this. We just walked up to the cardboard standee and took a really close picture.
Yeah. Yeah, no one seems to think. No one has actually said that at all. That's the best theory I have, because I'm like, everyone's like, it's a chalkboard. It's a chalk. It's not, I'm like, it's not the chalkboard. It's not that at all. So we'll have to see. But like, you know, it's one of those things. Like the Russos, remember where they would tease us when they were making in-game and Infinity War.
They love that shit. They love doing that.
I like it too, but I'm not gonna like focus our time on it. But I did want to share that for everybody in our show, so take a look at that. Other than the Spider-Man picture up above, which actually didn't really reveal anything for me, Mike. It just looks like Spider-Man outfit, right, for Spider-Man. The brand new day, fans were on set this week, and they reveal the return of Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out if he ends up being a sorcerer or not, right?
Hobgoblin. He could be the Hobgoblin for sure. So
be hobbing it up.
Now, everyone is theorizing that there's a reason that Zendaya has a hood on. She's covering her hair style or hair color. Do you think that's conspiracy theory here?
I just, to me, Zendaya and hoodies just go 1-to-1 together. Because if you watch enough of Euphoria, she's just like a high school kid, like constantly in a hoodie. So that's the most screen time I've witnessed Zendaya is the show Euphoria. So to me, hoodies just a natural, all natural for her.
Yeah, I love that people were like online reading too like, oh, what if she dyed her hair red because she's gonna be the official Mary Jane, and everyone's like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So, but brand new day, filming inside, so we probably won't see anything for a while. But I very excited. That's our next Marvel movie, coming up next summer. Warner Brothers Discovery just announced that they're splitting apart next April, and then next thing you know, the most recently merged group, Paramount Skydance, is now preparing a bid to purchase them before they split up. And what I call is there's always a bigger fish, Mike. Always a bigger fish eating the other bigger fish. But Paramount Skydance wants the entire company, including HBO, WB Pictures, and DC Studios, which is kind of why we brought this in here. And apparently it's because Paramount Skydance aren't really doing a lot of the movies, and the Paramount Plus is not performing very well, which lines up.
I feel like I'm learning two things from all of these acquisitions this summer. Is one, I didn't realize Skydance was doing as well as it did, because Skydance technically is buying or did buy Paramount. I don't even remember what ended up happening there, but like Skydance was like the primary there.
Yes.
And then this also just goes to show how bad of a CEO Zaslav is that ultimately the end goal for these two merged companies that he's in control of like, oh, I did such a bad job that now somebody's going to be able to pick it up from me and just buy it out from under me. Like, you did a bad job, Z.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. He did what he was supposed to do. When they split up, Warner Brothers will no longer have any debt, and Discovery will have all the debt, and they'll close Discovery. Is the plan? He has done everything. He has moved the dollars to where it gives him a bigger bonus and moves it out of the way. From us, it sounds like a bad move, but apparently, I literally hate this. We do not need one company buying up all the other ones. I even told you. You know, the thing we talked about going to the movies, why, you know, I even said, even with Disney buying Fox back in like 2019, yes, we're happy we got X-Men and all those things with Marvel together. However, Fox Searchlight used to do 15 movies a year, and now they're only doing 5 movies a year. And you know, if they Paramount Skydance is owned by what's his name, David Ellison, I think. He's now the richest man in the world. I think, after this kind of thing.
I could be wrong, but I thought Skydance was owned by the son of the richest man in the world. We'll have to do some Googling.
Well, I've got it right here. Skydance founder David Ellison, CEO David Ellison.
Oh, but it's his father is the one that's like the richest man in the world.
He is the son of multi-billion Oracle Corporation co-founder Larry Ellison. Okay. Either way, yes, the richest people in America will own this, or in the world will own this, not just America. But it's just, it sounds fun, but I don't like this. I don't want them all buying it. This will not get us back to the theaters. This will not get us in output of quality things. We'll just be seeing less and less. And
yeah, it also it doesn't get creatives paid. When there's less buyers in Hollywood, it just drives prices down for content. So like if you have like a new project that maybe you've even filmed it and it's already ready to go, well, if you know, Paramount and Skydance are one now, you throw Warner Brothers Discovery into it, now you have like 3 less places to take it to find buyers. It's just it's not good.
No,
it's bad news.
Not at all. Business at Warner Brothers, he seems to be business as usual, because he says that, you know, they were talking about they're not pushing password sharing restrictions yet because they don't think the value was there for HBO Max. But now they feel like the value is there, so they're gonna stop password sharing and raise the prices or something weird like that. So either way, long story short, would this affect DC Studios, Mike? I doubt it. I doubt they would change it up after just launching a fairly successful movie, and literally just setting up like new people in charge. So the question is, you know, would the Paramount Skydance merger do anything for DC? No, not at all. So I think they just maintain the course for that. And then at the end of the day here, did you know that James Gunn went on Howard Stern this week, his radio show, for interview? So he was doing that, and he was bringing up, you know, talking about Man of Tomorrow, which is a great place to push it since it's only been like a week old. He said that it's a story about Lex Luthor and Superman having to work together to a certain degree against a much, much bigger threat. It's more complicated than that, but that's a big part of it. So all of our initial theories seem to be correct, that it will just be a bigger person they have to team up against. Rumors are still Brainiac, Mike, and also include the Bottle City of Kandor. Are you familiar with Kandor at all, the Bottle City of Kandor?
No, I don't think so.
So Kandor was a Kryptonian city, a city on Kryptonite that Brainiac, in the most recent version, Brainiac stole, essentially ripped off the planet, shrunk it down into a bottle before the planet blew up, and then Superman finds it, gets it from him later, and like he can actually like go like shrink himself down and go visit like the people in here. He can't like free them or get them bigger, but yet for some reason, but when he gets in there, he's just like a regular person, because it's like they imitate Krypton's ecosystem in this little bottle city. So yeah, it's interesting. I actually didn't know much about the Bottle City of Kandor. I thought it was tied to Black Adam, but I think it's because I played it in Injustice 2. It was like, it's like one of the places that are trying to get Superman because he'd be weak there. And but other than Brainiac, is there anyone else in DC you could see them teaming up against that's way more interesting than the first guess people kind of grab at?
Gosh, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Everything's falling in line with what we talked about the other week on the show, you know, based on the kind of artistic just comic book drawings that they released with the announcement. So everything's kind of falling in line. If that's true, that means we were probably right about Brainiac. So we'll just wait for Brainiac to show up, I guess.
And the other part about Brainiac, and I think, again, this is like depending on where you are, is the Bottle City of Kandor in recent comic books is the city that Supergirl is from. So like her family's in there as well, and like she has like Brainiac's like, you know, if you don't do what I say, you know, I'm gonna kill your family kind of deal early on. So like that, like I think in Injustice she was like under Brainiac's, working for Brainiac or fighting them. I don't remember which one, but it's interesting. Like, you know, with that, I think the question I always see is, can James Gunn turn Lex Luthor into a hero after what he did in the first movie? And my answer still hinges on he didn't do too bad with Nebula, but I don't know how you deal with someone killing someone in front of Superman with a gun and then walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Man of Tomorrow, 2 years, excited. They are still filming Clayface. I'm not going to go in all those set photos because I don't know what I'm looking at because it's a man with like prosthetics on all the time. But do you think the second set of films for is Supergirl and Clayface are still? Do you think those are good choices? Was another question I saw someone ask.
God, good choices. I feel like there's no choice there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the movies are just happening and they just have to roll with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like when you do well with Superman, try to get again Wonder Woman up quicker. That's like Dad's a lot upset. But anyway, just questions. I don't have anything else, Mike. We kind of wrapped up here just a hair early. Do you have anything else you want to add before we end the show?
I think we nailed it I got to talk about the Cars franchise. So I'm sure everybody turned off the podcast after that. They got what they came here for. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to hear my hot takes.
We just lost a lot of subscribers because you wanted to start with Cars. Should have saved it for the end.
Come back next week. I'll talk about the good dinosaur.
No, don't do that. No, I will not. I will not let you. I will actually just turn the show off right then and there. We're not talking about now. If you bring me planes information, I'll let you talk, but not good dinosaur. We have a very hard and fast no good dinosaur in the house rule. All right, here, so
that's fair.
And then also, did I tell you I found the marshmallow Butterfinger? I know we usually talk about candy. I haven't had to try it yet, but I'm excited to try marshmallow Butterfingers. So I'll give people a report. Is
it exclusively at like a 7-Eleven or?
No, I was in a very random gas station.
Okay. Sounds like it could be anywhere then.
Yeah, we were literally driving to Lafayette, stopped at the gas station. Nothing in particular. Went in to get a drink and a snack, and they just happened to have them. So, we are in Halloween season, pumpkin spice season for the uninitiated. But anyway, Mike, if people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at?
Yeah, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com, liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, where are you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems of the same name. If people want to know more about the show, where they can come back every week, listen to all our previous episodes, reviews, where can they get all them goodies at?
Oh, the goodies are over at superheroslate.com. Browse on over there with your brand new orange iPhones. The website will look exactly the same, but at least you'll have an orange iPhone that you're holding while you're doing it. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love listening to podcasts. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. What are you excited for? Like, what's the next big release? Like, movie, TV, video game wise? Like, what is it that is having you just like gripping your wallet, ready to like throw your money at somebody? Let us know. And we love our super fans. So if you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.